Welcome to DC.
And here it comes. Swing and a miss. And a World Series Game 7 winning Curly W is in the books.
Dagger! It's 1974. The Washington Capitals are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions. Don't like that. I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
Despite all this, despite the churn, my approval ratings keep going up.
We are ready to give our 500% support back to this franchise, back to this city, back to this team after Snyder leaves. And then this is the poo-poo you put on the field.
For the very first time, the Washington Mystics are WNBA champions.
The Washington Commanders select Jaden Daniels.
I'm going to support fake teams that can't ruin my life.
Did you call bank? I call game.
Thank you. Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
The intro that never, ever, ever, ever gets old. I actually still love it as much as the first time we had it, boys. It is good to see you, Matt the Met. It is great to see you, FP. Thank you, boys, for making time. This is DTC episode 384. Just let that sink in because that number is bananas. Also, if you are watching on YouTube, please take note of FP's full head of hair and the not so full heads on either side. I'll go beard to beard with anyone, but the hair is just not there anymore. Turkey might be in our future, Matt. I don't know how you feel about this, but it comes up pretty regularly in conversation at this point. And man, would I love to have my college hair back, but I don't think I have the patience for it.
When did balding stop being manly? No, stop it.
All right, are we going to be
hair?
Are we going to be honest? Are you and I going to be honest with each other here? Okay, there's the Jason Statham type of balding, okay, that comes with a certain body and build, okay? Then there's what, I won't speak for you, but then there's my build. And with my build, a little hair would help. Kind of the Mr. Potato Head shape here would be a little bit bit better.
A little hair is just gonna make us bigger. There ain't no need for that.
I think the balding is by design because you both have perfectly rounded
Listen
heads.
here, guy. I don't want to hear your thoughts on
No,
balding.
I'm just saying you both have perfectly rounded heads where balding is bald is an acceptable look for you.
Yeah,
I have a lumpy head. God spared me
a lumpy
by
head.
keeping the hair because if this was balding, I would look like Hey You Guys from the Goonies. Like it would not be good.
We might have to name the episode Lumpy Head. Just break the text on it. Lumpy Head. Episode 384, Lumpy Head. Well, look, boys, it's great to see you. We very rarely take a week off, but we did take one off last week. As documented previously, FP had a little bit of things going on. He's back now. Welcome back, FP. I just needed a break, to be honest, from myself, and the boys collectively in the offline chat were like, do we have something in the tank? I was like, well, actually, yeah, we've got OMC 25, which the internet has been clamoring for. It's out there, and the reviews pretty solid. FP and I, we were at the same place yesterday, Sunday. I mean, this is an off. Typically we record on Tuesdays. It's Monday night right now, so things are a little bit shifted around here because we got some big things that we're going to talk about happening this week, including, of course, the NBA Finals starting on Wednesday. But FP, I mean, hold me accountable here. Did we or did we not have at least 3 conversations with casual listeners of the show that said OMC 25 rocked? Absolutely rocked.
Yeah. We honestly, it sounds like we're tooting our own horn here.
Well, let's do it. There was
a good like 6 or 7. There was like a good 6 or 7 people that came up to me at various times, and they were talking about the show, DTC or OMC reviews. They're like, "When's episode 384? What movie are you guys going to do next? Your review on Face Off was great." Like,
Face Off stole the show.
It just went all the way through.
The most startling thing about everything you guys said is that you spoke to 6 or 7 people who listen to the show.
Oh, listen,
That's
everybody
amazing.
takes these digs. Listen, I'm done defending the show, okay? Anything that
I'm
survives,
on, baby. I'm on.
anything that survives 300 episodes, and this is the crazy thing, and I think FP brought it up a couple weeks back. There's 25 off-season movie club shows, each one covering 3 or 4 films And that's in one calendar year. We churn out so much content, and for whatever reason, I'm not upset that people enjoy the movie show, and especially during the off season, more than the random. Like, there's a lot of people that are just, I'm football only, and then I tune out, and I'm just not paying attention until, mini camps and OTAs and whatever, and that's totally fine. But I am happy that we extra hyped OMC 25, because I think when we finished recording it, everybody that was on it was really excited to get that one out there. And we kind of sat on it because we knew some things were coming in the schedule. Crab Cake came on and we recorded OMC 26. So we actually have another one in the tank that we'll see when we put that one out. I think we got some vacations coming up, but
it's a lot of content. Like, imagine what our collective figure would be if we were good about being on the treadmill while we were watching these movies. If I was on the treadmill for 4 movies a week, that's 8 hours of running, walking a week. Like,
fair. It's a fair statement. It's crazy. A fair statement. But all this to say, if you dig the movie show and for somehow you're living under a rock and you missed 25, go find it. It's well worth your time. And if you don't care about Kindergarten Cop, shame on you. If you don't remember Speed, shame on you. Everyone has a comment on Face Off, and I think we cover it pretty holistically. From A to Z. So that one's out there. Enjoy it. If you have a suggestion for OMC 27, send it in on the Patreon or shoot us a text or an email, whatever. We'll get it. Crab Cake he's excited to come back on. So we gave him some homework to find a movie that we haven't seen that, that hopefully doesn't stink, and we'll watch it for 27. So that's what's happening on the movie side of it. Now, on the sports side of it, and Matt, I'm going to throw this to you first. I want to just talk briefly about, well, it doesn't have to be briefly. The Nationals are doing something that they haven't done, or they're doing something that no one expected them to do, which is be competitive and win games consistently. There's some players that all of a sudden look like, they're not going to be, they're not going to be Otani, like they're not going to be the best of the best of the best, but they are good enough to consistently win. They're not currently anyway overpaid. The team is competitive. I think at one point they were 3 games over 500. I think right now, as we are recording this, they are 1. Maybe 2. All right, you corrected me. Thank you. There's 2. They're 2 games over. This is a playoff bound team. Am I wrong?
I would say hold on. I would say it's still tight. But I would say what they have right now are the foundation of a team that's going to rake for a long time. The offense that this has, James Wood, led by James Wood and CJ Abrams, you don't have good pieces there. You have great pieces there. These guys are all-star caliber. They're going to be in the all-star game this year. They're putting up 900 OPS numbers, which 800 is good. 900 is great. So if you're 800 OPS, you're really above average. You're a good player. By the way, they've got, I think, 4 guys over 800 OPS. They've got another 3 or 4 guys at 700 OPS. This team, this is the highest scoring offense in baseball. The only reason they're not crazy. The only reason they are not winning games is because they can't pitch, right? And so the pitching hasn't worked out, whether it be the bullpen letting them down. They've got Gifford, who's looking really good. I got to Griffin. Sorry, dude, where'd I go? Griffin. I watched him. I actually went to a game he pitched. He pitched against the Brewers. He pitched really well. And he's good. He's got a sub-3 ERA. He's striking out guys. He's holding his own as he's still a young talent. But they don't have anybody else around him. And so the problem is like you can only beat like offense. Offense is good. Offense will carry you through a regular season. But as we know, when push comes to shove, you come up against the Dodgers, you come up against the Brewers, you don't have the chops for a series. Don't have the pitching. You don't have the pitching, right? And so I think that's ultimately where the Nats.
But I think as fans, I think I'll speak for myself. I think I'm okay with that right now. I think I'm okay having a competitive team that on any given night, if I choose to, spend $80 and take my family to go, to see them, they're not going to lose by 15. Right. Like I think there's something there. Like we have it as Nats fans in DC. How far back are you going to the last time they had a competitive team or not? I'm not even going to say expectations of postseason threat. threat
You mean
of postseason.
Since the 2019 run?
Of course. I mean, yeah, I mean, well documented here. We've been at this for a long time, FP. We had our moment. It was amazing. COVID happened. I mean, the wheels came completely off. Ownership doesn't like spending money. I mean, everything's different right now. I mean, everything around the team is different. And and they potentially dodged some bullets too, letting some pieces walk that at the time. I mean, I'm not trying to take a shot here at Matt the Met, but
no, I actually was going to go the same place you are.
Who cares about Juan Soto right now in DC?
What they've done,
especially with Abrams.
What they've done with Juan Soto, what they got back and getting James Wood and CJ Abrams, that'll make up for Soto. I mean, Soto's still Soto, to be honest. I mean, Soto, the Mets have their own problems. Soto's not one, right? Soto's still Soto. He's bashing. And I think, but he's just all alone on an island right now. What the Nats did, and I guess, Rizzo deserves a lot of credit, right? Like, I know he's not here anymore, but like what he did in terms of turning that around, like he really set this team up for success in the future, and I think he deserves a lot of credit. And like, it was fun. I went to a Nats game. I took the boys. We got some first level seats down on the first base side. Boys were loving it. Boys were loving watching the Nats, and like, I'm good with that. It's a fun product, and I agree with you. Watching these guys rake right now is actually a lot of fun. Like watching them hit the ball, they're bashing. I mean, James Wood home runs are becoming must-see events. Just CJ Abrams, even the way he's fielding out there, like, I mean, dude, it's a lot of fun.
When you have ESPN's social media throwing up Nationals highlights, that hasn't happened in a good 5-6 years. Like, unless we're on the wrong end of the highlight where it's happening to us. But I mean, the crazy thing is, I'll say for me personally, I've stated this multiple times. I am below level of a casual fan when it comes to regular season baseball, and then I ramp it up, start of September when you start making the playoff run and you start getting into who's going to play who. But what I've noticed is I don't think the national media was really expecting to see this team do what they are this soon, to the point where they don't really know how to discuss the Nationals, and you're getting lazy reporting, lazy takes, where you have people saying like, oh, they should trade CJ Abrams and they should see what they can get for him. And from what I understand, and maybe Matt the Met can fill me in here or correct me, the people that are watching this team, there's no chance in hell you get rid of a CJ Abrams. But that's like the disconnect between what's actually happening in DC and what the fans are witnessing and what we see going on, and the national media having no idea how to talk about this team right now. They're just all completely taken aback, and they have no idea. They had no idea that this was going to be the season that we were going to put up this year. I mean, granted, neither did we, but there's a huge disconnect between what we were supposed to be and what we currently are.
And here's the thing, though. The baseball season is insanely long. And I think what a lot of people are expecting is that the Nats are likely going to fall back at some point because of the lack of pitching. But I agree with you. There's no CJ Abrams trade out there that I would make. Like, even maybe like, okay, like if Tarek Skubal, and there's a real conversation around that. But the problem is, like, you can't bring in Skubal and get rid of your second best guy. You don't do that. So, I mean, not right now. They still need a few pitching pieces. If they were one pitching piece away, maybe. I think that's the thing with the Nats is, like, I think people just aren't bought in because at the end of the day, in a long season, bad pitching begins to expose itself, and you begin to lose games that you're supposed to win, right? And whereas offense can carry you early, pitching tends to be the thing that carries you over the finish line. And I think that's where I'm saying pump the brakes a little bit.
Rizzo was always the guy that said, like, you are the back of the baseball card, right? Like, everybody reverts to the season is long, right? So over the course of a season, you're going to have hot streaks and cold streaks, but whatever it says on the back of the baseball card, your averages, that's usually where you're going to end up. I mean, that was his soundbite. We heard it here week after week after week on local talk, sports talk radio. That was always his thing, and I think it holds true now as well. Like, this team is seemingly punching above its weight class. They've got some pieces that look good, but I mean, are they going to spend? Are they going to be buyers here as we get closer to the halfway point? I don't think so. They won't
be buyers, but I'm telling you, with the guys that they have, in a year or two, they become a destination. Look, there's another thing that we need, another whole story we need to talk about. Baseball's about to go into labor negotiations for the first time ever. For the second time since '94. For the first time since '94.
Some big negotiations from what I saw.
Right.
Yeah.
There's talks of yeah. And
but I think they have to do it.
honestly,
I think they have to do it. Matt, I think you're going to disagree with me, but I think they have to do it.
I'm anti-salary cap. Obviously, as a Mets fan, I'm anti-salary cap, but I don't think that the Mets are the problem.
But
I think the problem is that the teams that don't spend the floor, right? I'm more concerned about the floor. Yeah, exactly.
But I think the NFL has shown how to do this, right? You can set a max and you can set a min, and then you can fine, teams that aren't spending enough. I mean, you can do this, right? But the contracts are crazy, Matt. I mean, they're not even in the realm.
Is it harder for Dodgers to ditch $200 million in contracts to get within the threshold, or is it harder for the Marlins to spend $200 million?
No, they can pay.
To get to the floor?
They'll overpay for mediocre talent, or they'll overpay even for superstars because they have to. But at the same time, you can't just enact it and say starting next season because you have all these contracts on the books. Like, what are you going to do with that? How are you going to get the Mets, who already have committed to $300 million of contracts? How are you going to get them to just suddenly, like, you're going to force them to trade? Like, you can't do that, right? I mean, this is the hardest part when you start talking about this. It's actually easier to put in the minimum and then say by 2030 or by 2035, you have to bring them down, like, because there's no other way to do it.
But this is where I hate this out. Like, when you look at the NBA, I feel like the salary cap has ruined the NBA. Because if you ask me in the NBA, I'll tell you what. Look at the Warriors and now the Thunder, right? These guys build their teams the right way, right? And ultimately you get to a point where you want to pay your own guys, and you can only pay 2 or 3 to keep them, and then all of a sudden you're penalized for paying your own guys. You have to pay these luxury taxes for keeping your own guys, the guys that you like drafted, the guys that you brought in. Both of those teams were built the right way. Like, they make a solid trade for a great player, and they put him on top of a foundational system that they've built. And now the Thunder have to look at the guys that they've drafted, their own guys, and be like, we've got to start getting rid of our guys because we're going to get penalized for paying our own guys.
You're driving me nuts with this penalized business. It's penalized. And okay, to pick on the Thunder for a second, they're going to have to make a decision about
penal code, not a penal code.
Stay focused, Joe. Stay focused. When you look at Chet, okay, like Chet and OKC, right? And I want to get back to the Nationals here in a second, but they're gonna have to make a decision about a guy who, for 70 games in the regular season and into the playoffs, looked like a piece that they need to extend. But then when he went up against a better version of himself, he took 4 shots, Matt. You can't pay him. You can't pay him.
But that's a different conversation. My point is, though, teams ultimately get penalized for building teams the right way and trying to keep their guys. Chet Holmgren.
But is that necessarily worse than the Dodgers, right? Like, all of this is happening because the Dodgers are the Dodgers.
And the Dodgers are the only ones.
The main driving reason behind.
Hold on, but the Dodgers are the only ones that spend like bananas and are competitive. Who else is spending and is competitive right now? Atlanta, kind of. The Mets, no. The Yankees, not really.
Yankees are. I mean, the Yankees are.
I think the Dodgers are the driving force behind version 1 of the CBA.
But I mean, let's be honest about what the Dodgers are, okay? First of all, they play in Los Angeles, okay, which is the best weather for baseball all year round. Number 2, they are close to Asia, and so Asian guys, the Japanese guys, all like to play there because there's a market for them. Also, the Dodgers have gotten really smart about marketing their product in Japan specifically. Shohei, all these guys who come over there, they've got brand equity that is bringing in money that no other team can touch.
Absolutely. So they have it.
But that's also the second part of the CBA is they want to completely change up your broadcasting rights.
Well, I think they have
to.
It's
not just broadcasting. I mean, it's in Japan, the Dodgers are Major League Baseball, right? Where it might have been the Yankees for a little while, right? Because they had Hideki Matsui, they had some guys but now it's the Dodgers, and and it's gonna be the Dodgers for a long time. And so they just have a competitive advantage that nobody else has. And so it's annoying when a guy like Kyle Tucker, who's played in Houston and then whatever, is like, oh, I'm gonna go. And they're the smartest team around deferrals, right? So like they defer. I mean, look what they did with Shohei's contract, right? I mean,
Sure.
He should be getting $70 a year. He's getting $2 million a year, and on the books it's only like $20 million. So I think the Dodgers are ahead of the game in terms of just spending the right way, spending creatively, bringing in revenue that nobody else is bringing, and it's annoying to everybody else. That's where they don't have a competitive advantage, because at the end of the day, look, there are only so many teams that offer 30, 40, $50 million a year, right? I think the Nats can become one of those teams, to bring it back to the Nats.
Not with the current
not now.
Yeah, no way.
Not now,
no way.
And not with the current. But what I'm saying is, James Wood, like the big trend right now, the big trend in baseball right now is you're locking up these young pre-arbitration eligible guys. You're giving them 10, 13-year contracts at a 50% discount of what it would cost you down the line. So don't be surprised, and I wouldn't be surprised if you hear a big contract for James Wood, but next year, big contract for CJ, and they start locking up these guys to build a foundation for what's going to be really exciting baseball.
That's what we hope for, right? I mean, that's what we want to see the Nats do. Like 2019, in hindsight, that team was 500 going into the All-Star break or whatever it was.
Yeah, they just
and they got super hot. Like they were not in serious contention until, and it was a perfect storm confluence of everybody just kind of peaking at the same time, and Soto turning into who he would eventually become.
As a matter of fact, they were 11 games under 500 that season. They were not. Yeah, exactly. And Soto is the one who's like telling the Mets, "Hey, I've been there. I've been 11 games under, and I've won a World Series."
But
right?
the current iteration of the Mets just doesn't have the depth. I mean, they don't have Baby Shark. They don't like all of the pieces.
They don't know how to hit.
But all of the pieces on the 2019 Nats that really. Outside, I mean, look at like a guy like Rendon. Like there's so many examples of guys that in that system at that moment were unstoppable. And as the wheels came off, and maybe the learners were ahead of the curve and just saying, "We got one, like that's it." And then they tried to sell the team and they couldn't. So, it's interesting to see what they're doing. It's a good product. I mean, Andy's texted on the side. I mean, we're all thinking the same thing. I would like to go see a Nats game. Stevie has said it. Matt, you said you've taken your family down to see it. So
I'm ready for a 9 for 9.
You keep talking up the 9 for 9. I don't know a single person who's attempted it and got it done. That's a.
Did we talk about the cap? I just wanted to say one thing about the MLB salary cap. I don't like it, but I do like having a floor, and it forces teams to spend. But it really affects it doesn't affect your Juan Soto's, your big name ticket players. It affects more of the middle of the pack players, because that's where the money's kind of going to get distributed.
Sure, but how do you stop a player from saying I'm worth 70, but I'll take 2 because I want to win? You're always going to have that problem, right? That's always going to exist. We saw this. I know we're going to get to the NBA in a second here, but we just saw this with the Knicks, right? Their star point guard just said, "I will take less to stay here. I don't want to leave." So, I think there's something to be said about not just taking care of
all it's doing is just distributing the wealth to other players, and that's fine.
I'm not disagreeing with you. And I think what you're suggesting is the way to do it. You establish a floor that teams must spend, and you tax them just as aggressively as teams that exceed the limit. But where baseball's going to have a problem, and it's ironic, they just redid all their TV contracts. But that's where the problem is, because there's too many games on too many platforms. The NBA saw it this year too. We were all jazzed up for NBA on NBC and Peacock and Tirico and Jordan. After about 4 weeks, it turned into, what day is it? What channel is it on? Do I have a subscription? It fizzled out so fast and devolved into almost instantly, it felt like we were back into, basically by Thanksgiving, we were like, why do I have to have 80 channels to watch whatever? And on top of that, here in DC, I couldn't even watch the Wizards. I had to subscribe to a whole standalone service, because the regionals aren't carried on YouTube TV anymore. So, there's channel surfing fatigue at this point. You've got to be everywhere all the time.
The only thing with baseball, their app is still the best sports app out there. The
100%.
MLB TV is great, and
It's
I can
4K,
watch every out of market game.
Absolutely.
And for and for $100 I add the Nationals, right, for the season. So like for me, like because ESPN now hosts MLB TV within it. So like actually MLB I think they're actually doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing. Yeah, they're on Peacock on whatever Sunday nights, and they're on TNT Tuesday nights.
I get it. It's accessible.
And I can still
Apple,
get every game at
absolutely. And Apple's done a good job of building in their broadcast looks good. Everything's in 4K. I'm with you on all that, Matt. All I'm saying is the TV deals, right? The money that comes in from the TV deals, that to me is the problem, right? Because Kansas City is not going to have the national exposure, right, that the Dodgers are going to have, right? And with the NFL, because of the way, and there's a little bit of controversy with this right now because there are 4 NFL teams that have no primetime games on the schedule to start, right? And immediately everybody just said, well, if you're not good enough to be on national TV, you're probably not good enough to be in the league. Like there's something about that, whereas there are 6 teams that are on like 6 times, right? So this to me is the baseball problem, right? There's so many games. Like there is no national stage anymore for baseball. It used to be Sunday Night Baseball. That basically doesn't exist. Apple tried to do Friday Night Baseball.
It exists on NBC.
Well, I understand, but I'm saying like it doesn't have the cachet of like a Sunday Night Football, for example, where it's the only game on the national network. It just doesn't. It's not there. So you're asking advertisers to pay more. You're asking, chicken nuggets are like $85 now. Like there's so many other things that have to happen.
But actually, Joe, this is where baseball is actually unique, because what MLB has done last season, especially, a lot of teams were losing with the Bally Sports thing, they were losing their regional sports networks.
Sure.
And so and that used to be where teams made their monies off the regional sports networks. But now MLB is basically like, we will broadcast your games for you. And so what MLB is actually doing is they're essentially solving that problem. They're saying,
everybody
Kansas City, you don't have to worry. Everybody, like for teams that can't afford or can't keep, they are ultimately hosting, right? I think they've got 14 or 15. Half the league now has their TV rights going through MLB. And so MLB is basically packaging and can package. They have the
which is a genius move.
Yeah.
Genius. It's genius. It's actually
if the NBA. The NBA did that with their app and made it actually worthwhile.
They have the worst app.
Or even the NFL, where you could just any game wherever you are pull it up. It would be genius, right? Like,
yeah, that's why the Nationals they moved their broadcast when they pulled off of Masson.
Yeah, when Masson
they
died.
gave their broadcast rights to MLB, and so MLB it could sell me Nats games in the market. I don't need a cable package. I don't need anything. And they're doing that for all these teams, and they're going direct to baseball fans. So I think MLB's ahead of the curve in that, and they're going around that other problem, the problem that you're talking about of like, just like this.
I hear you.
These teams that don't draw. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is. And again, their app is the most polished, whether you're watching on a TV or on your phone or whatever. I mean, it just works. And I appreciate that too. We exactly. Yeah. I want to switch into, I think we got to go into the NBA from here, boys. Like we have to talk about them. We have to talk about what happened over the weekend. I mean, Game 7, I think everybody on the show right now was watching Game 7 in real time, whether you were at a wedding reception or sitting on your couch, recovering from a long day of perfect weather in and around DC, the DC metro area. Wemby, and it's become very, I think it's expected now that when we are watching a Spurs game, you're going to get a message from me in the offline chat, he's an alien. My brain hurts watching him. He's incredible to watch, but he makes no sense. I'm fascinated by him. And to see a 20-year-old crying on national TV with like beaming with pride that his teammates, like that they made it. Like this guy plays basketball. I know he's 9 feet tall and like, no, we've never seen anyone like him.
I mean, it's Space Jam.
But this is the basketball I remember watching, man. He is so excited to be going to the finals. And I got to say this about OKC, and I want to get your thoughts on this too. SGA is a phenomenal player. Somewhere along the way, though, the flopping, I've soured on him. I just have. I can't take the flopping. I can't. And the playoffs have largely been pretty good, you know, and in soccer, obviously we call it simulation, right? But he spends so much time flopping that, like, as much as I enjoy OKC and I'm happy for what they did, and they are the definition of a small market becoming a big market, I cannot cheer. Everybody was, who you got in Game 7? Who you got? OKC's the better team. I was like, I'm pulling for the Spurs, man. I want the Spurs. I want the Knicks. I'm not going to defend OKC and SGA because there was a lot of flopping, but I think it got blown out of proportion. I think SGA's just shooting mechanics. No, dude, he's fallen over from nothing.
I agree, but I think it's more his shooting mechanics, the way that he's releasing the ball at the end of his arc, like his shooting mechanics just make it that he doesn't establish his feet when he comes down, and it looks like flopping, I think, more than it actually is, because a lot of the times he just gets right back up and goes. It's not a flop and a look to the ref. It's just a fallback, and then he gets up and hustles down the court. Like, it's not.
If you're saying it's not as egregious as
it's not a
LeBron
flop
does,
in the way that, like, you hate LeBron for constantly crying.
Yeah.
Define your. So, are we talking about like BS foul calls, or are you talking about like actual flops that don't get calls?
I am saying that they let them play in Game 6 and 7, and he wasn't getting the calls. He wasn't camped out at the line. He has perfected simulation, like somebody you know puts two hands on him and he's getting accosted by the Pistons of the 90s, like they're shoving him into a locker or something. It's insane.
I don't know how they would enforce it, but I would like to see, like, if somebody flops, I want to see possession go the other way.
Give him a challenge flag. Why not? Why can't you?
It's possible to enforce it.
Why, Andy? Why is it impossible to enforce it?
Like, I mean, if you flop, I mean, the shot's already in the air. It could already be rebounded by the opposing team.
If you're stopping play to call a foul, you know, to send SGA to the line, and I'm the opposing coach, and I'm saying I didn't touch him, I want to be able to challenge it and say, not only did I not touch him, he's like in soccer, it's very real.
Wait. Things now. Hold on. If you're talking about flopping versus BS calls,
it's both. To me, they're the same. I don't know what the difference is. Like, a bad call is a bad call. I'm in the minority where I want to be able to challenge any play at any time, a set number of challenges, and I can use them at my discretion. And if that means that SGA's going to the basket and somebody blows on him the wrong way and he pulls a LeBron and flops into the third row, and he's going before he goes to the line, I want to be able to challenge it and say, go look at this. And if he's flopping, take the points off the board and give me the ball. You don't have to assess him a technical, but
he had like 75 flops during the series with the Spurs. He didn't go to the line 75.
I know, times. Because they let him play, and his value was diminished when
let's forget the flopping for a second. Go ahead.
Send it the other way.
Look, this is the NBA we're talking about. Guys have gotten calls forever. I mean, we're Jordan fans, right? James Harden, not 5'8" when he was James Harden, right? So what I'm saying is, like, this is cyclical. When you have a guy who's putting 30 in, 32 in, right, outscoring the rest of the league, right? Nobody's talking about Doncic in the way that he also has a similar.
I'm happy. I'm happy to talk about. But my point, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. Iverson didn't fall over because somebody, grabbed his shoelace. He was getting shoved over, right? Jordan got a ton of calls, but they were because people were putting two hands on him and literally they were fighting him.
But I mean, you could even look at John Wall. John Wall would constantly drive the paint, put up a shot,
play for contact, absolutely,
fall in his ass and get to the line, right? Like
Trae Young recently, right, with the whole stop and get fouled. Like, my point is, when guys get momentum and guys get to the line, especially in the playoffs, those things tend to. And I think I actually agree with FP. It was blown out of proportion. It was a narrative. It was smart play by the coaches and the players that were getting ready to play him and just bring attention to it, right? Like, the whole idea from the second round, you were hearing, these guys flop. So by the time you got to the San Antonio series, all eyes were on SGA and Caruso and how much movement. And so, like, it became this stupid narrative that you couldn't get past. And actually, I think it took away from the series, to be completely honest, right? Because, like, what you saw was two really well-balanced series.
Amazing series.
Go against each other, react and act and react, right? Constantly make adjustments.
It was haymaker after haymaker.
Absolutely. Blow for blow. Right. There was, at no point did you feel, I'll speak for myself. At no point did I feel either of these teams was head and shoulders better than the other. Right? Coming into it was OKC's experience. They are the deeper team. The Spurs have the unguardable super freak. And maybe if Julian Champagnie, maybe if DeAndre Fox, maybe if Dylan Harper get their stuff, right? If the tier 2 guys.
Castle, man.
Stephon
Castle is legit. Like he is, dude, he came out.
Absolutely.
He's legit.
But it was gonna be the core 4 of, OKC versus Wemby and the Rippers, basically. Like whoever shows up.
Well, I mean, because the Spurs weren't supposed to do this in year 2.
Absolutely not. Of course. I mean, but he's shooting logo threes. He's getting his own putback dunks. He is something else. And when you think of the NBA, like in eras, right? Like you had Michael pass to the more or less basically kind of bleeds into the Kobe era, Kobe into LeBron. This is the end of the LeBron era. And I think like there are so many good players that have played with late Kobe, with middle, and even now LeBron. But Wemby's better than all of them. Like he is going to be the face for the next 15 years. And I don't know how you guard him. I don't know like how they're gonna the Spurs to go from Robinson to Duncan, skip a decade, and then end up with Wemby, who he just looks he's something else, guys. I've been watching basketball my entire life. Yao Ming was thick and 7'3". Shaq was thick, 7'1", just raw power. Wemby's 8 feet and he can shoot from the half court and no one can guard him. He made Chet look like it would be like my kid guarding me. It didn't make any sense to see him.
Chet disappearing. I don't necessarily
4 shots, 6 shots in 2 games.
I don't think that was necessarily on. It wasn't really Wemby. Like Chet, they could have played matchups. They could have put Chet in when Wemby was resting. Chet just disappeared. He cost the OKC that game, like 100%. It was all on Chet. And it gets to the point like, yeah, you probably can't pay him. You probably shouldn't pay him. Now, as a Wizards fan, if he's on the trading block, do I take him? Immediately, yes. But
do you trade Davis for him?
Sure.
Yeah.
If they're dumb enough to take AD, sure.
AD can go.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd
let AD go. Yeah.
Every team out there would take a Chet because, like Joe said, for 73 games,
he's unguardable.
He's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, but he hit a wall, and that wall's name is Wemby, and he is.
I will say to fast forward this conversation a little bit. This is the finals that the NBA needs to kick off the post LeBron era. There's like, as a casual fan, like I have no horse in this race. I truly can't tell you who I want to win more. If it's Wemby and the Spurs surging early and establishing the core in the next phase of the NBA, or if it's the Knicks finally getting back to the show and the biggest market in the NBA finally getting back into the finals and exploding and just seeing how New York is going to react and what Madison Square Garden is going to look like. It's going to be the best thing to happen to the NBA in maybe
the NBA desperately need this. You hit it. You hit the nail on the head. They need this.
Can I tell you something? I hate it. I hate it.
This guy just can't be happy. This guy can't be happy.
No.
Is it the superstition that's creeping up right now?
No, listen, I agree with you 100%. I love it from the perspective of like, this really is transitional, right? For the NBA. I think I love that, right? I think Wemby is transitional in that regard. I think everything we just said he is. And yes, I mean like, but I grew up in New York City hating the Knicks, right? I was a Jordan guy. I can't see the Knicks win a championship. I can't do it. But I also don't like the idea of Wemby winning so early and just making it like the idea that he's going to just dominate the NBA for the next
This guy just can't be happy. He just can't be happy.
No, I can't be happy.
It's 1999. We're partying like it's 99. The last time these two teams met in the finals, 1999, the shortened season. I mean, this is it, Matt. This is it.
I'm obviously being sarcastic here. I think it's a great series. I think it's cool. I think you've got the team versus the star, right? Like it really is. You've got the team. Look, Brunson's a legit baller, legit. Cat is good. I mean, Cat in this role is better than I think being the number one guy in Minnesota. I think it serves him better. I loved when we had Bridges in Brooklyn. I enjoyed watching him. I like the role he's in now. He's not a 1A, right? So this is a well-built roster. And the irony of it all is the Knicks have built rosters, but for some reason they always collapse. In this one, these guys they ball together, they defend hard. They're actually hard to root against.
Their team chemistry might be stronger than the Spurs.
They also got. I agree. They've got the puck luck or whatever the NBA version of this is right now. They had the luxury of seeing the Celtics get bounced. Right? They didn't have they got to beat Philly. Like, who cares about Philly? Right? And then the Cavs just went to sleep for 4 games. Like did you guys follow the Danhausen bit? I sent it to you. I don't know. You guys are. I think you're not even casual wrestling fans, but WWE is owned by like ESPN, all this stuff. He goes on to one of the Stephen A shows or whatever, and he curses Stephen A and the Knicks. The Knicks. That was the last game the Knicks lost. A wrestling fan happened to do a cameo, like a $20 bit. MSG was hosting Raw the following night, or whatever. I think it was, or maybe the following week, and Danhausen does this bit with his fanhausens, right? Fans of him, where you pay him $20 and he'll curse your opponent. That's his whole bit. He looks like a Dracula from the 80s or whatever. It's a very shticky, like, wrestling thing. But a Knicks fan paid him to uncurse the Knicks and curse the Knicks opponents. They've won 11 straight by like 50 points every game since then.
Come on.
That's why he was on the court with a Danhausen jersey. They were going to hang it from the it's bananas that these two worlds are colliding.
But pay him $20 to curse the Spurs, and
that's the whole bit. That's exactly the bit. So, but the Knicks have won 11 straight, and it's not like they're squeaking these by. These have been non-competitive games. They've won 11 games by literally, I think the average is 29 points.
Yeah, they are blowouts.
They are blowouts. I feel like I have to, this is a confession here. I'm not a Jalen guy. I wasn't a Jalen Brunson guy. It's very hard to cheer against him because the 2 things he did that drove me crazy, which he couldn't finish to the left, and he seemed to not want the ball down the stretch. He does that all the time now.
I keep saying they won 11 straight. Did they really?
Yeah, they haven't.
Why do you think they haven't?
Yeah.
Since the first round of the Hawks.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were down 2-1 to the Hawks.
That's right.
Lost since.
They've barely played in these playoffs.
They've been chilling at home.
But that's kind
of
the
one challenging game was game 1 against the Cavs that they had to come back.
That reminds me of like the Patriots of last year. They literally had a cakewalk in the playoffs, and then they kind of were exposed. I'm not a believer.
It's a good pull, and
it's
Spurs
great.
Could be the team.
I think. I think the Knicks are not gonna. I mean, they're well rested. They're gonna have that from an advantage point. They're gonna be much more energized, a lot more, ready to go. But I think San Antonio is still gonna dominate. Like, it's probably not even
dominate.
I don't think it's gonna be close.
Wow.
At all.
Whoa.
Andy, did you have the Spurs getting past OKC?
I did. I had the Spurs beating OKC, but I'm also an idiot. Well, not really. I had the Cavs getting past the Knicks, and then they swept.
No, I mean the Cavs had no business being on the same court as the Knicks. They just didn't, man. Like, Harden looked 75 years old. Donovan Mitchell can't do it by himself. Like, it was a good story, but I mean, they dodged some big bullets in the Eastern Conference.
FP, put 20 on a San Antonio sweep for me on FanDuel, and I'll then.
There's no way they sweep. There's no way.
The Spurs are going to be the strongest defensive team the Knicks have seen in the playoffs, hands down.
Yeah,
and the only legit team they've seen.
The only legit team.
But I'm saying specifically from a defensive standpoint, like the Hawks, Philly, Cavs. Zero defense for any of those teams at all. Completely.
Yeah, but they're going to have their. I mean, listen, between Hart, Anunoby, and what's his face, and Cat, like you just have to keep throwing bodies at Wemby. I think you have to basically let him get 40. I think you have to, and you just trust that everything else doesn't fall for them. But I don't know how. What defense are you putting out there against the Spurs? If you're the Knicks. and it's halftime of, forget about halftime. It's the start of game 1. What is your defensive strategy?
Honestly,
we can't defend the paint. Take out the 3 points.
They can't. The Spurs are such a well-rounded team, in my opinion, and Wemby just makes it so difficult. Not from an offensive perspective, because I actually think he's really uncoordinated in a way. Like if you see him on the court trying to dribble and drive, like it's probably because he's a massive human being, but he is not coordinated. He loses his.
I mean, you realize his dribble is up to our shoulder, right? Like it's bizarre. Yeah,
I get it. He's a freak of a human. But I'm not afraid of him offensively per se. I'm afraid of him from his putbacks, from his rebounding perspective. But I think Cat will be able to put him in his place offensively, like in the post if he tries to, or if he tries to.
I mean, you're also forgetting Mitchell Robinson. So I think what your hope is that they put Wemby on Cat on defense so that Cat can pull him outside because Cat's not going to be in the paint anyway. Cat's going to spot up for 3. So your hope is you put Cat outside to kind of clear up the lane, so that Brunson and Bridges can get kind of clear lanes. Josh Hart, these guys can get to the basket. That's likely what you do on. And then on defense, you have Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson's a big piece, right? He can beat up on Wemby for a little bit body wise. Wemby's still one guy and he's still only 6 fouls. And Wemby has a tendency to get into foul trouble. And so I think between Cat and between Mitchell Robinson, you body up Wemby, you hope he gets into early foul trouble, and then you take advantage. Otherwise, I think the Knicks can lock down the rest of the guys on the Spurs, right? I think obviously they have De'Aaron Fox. They have some good guys, but I think outside of Wemby, man for man, it's the Knicks, right? I think the Knicks and the defense, I think will shine through. I think you got to beat up on Wemby a little bit.
I think that's a formula that's only going to work for one game.
I think you took the words later out of my mouth. We got Andy saying the Spurs are going to sweep. Matt, it sounds like you're leaning Knicks here. You must be.
Knicks in a long series. Knicks in 7.
Okay, Knicks in 7.
It's fun. The Knicks actually have shown, even in the last year's playoffs, they have a tenacity on the road. They really do hunker down and play well on the road. I don't think they'll be. I think if the Spurs are on the road in New York, they would be for Game 7. I don't see them pulling out that game. But I have no issue thinking the Knicks go into San Antonio.
It's interesting because both locales or arenas have their own personalities, right? MSG is the heartbeat of I mean I don't like the term calling anything the mecca of anything. It just that phrase always bothers me. But I mean it's hallowed ground from a basketball perspective. It just is, which is ironic because the franchise hasn't really. No offense to anybody, it hasn't mattered for 40 years. So why is it such a big stage? I don't know, but it is the biggest stage in the biggest market. And there's always going to be nerves. I mean, Kobe was always on record saying it's the Knicks. Jordan was always on the record saying it's the Knicks. So that's one end of it. Then you have San Antonio. They were doing some cool stuff with the shirts and the colors and the whatever. But I found this really interesting. I was listening to a local podcast out of San Antonio. Do you know that their home court arena, their setup, they play the most rock and metal cuts or sounders in the building, more than the next 6 teams combined. They don't do hip hop in San Antonio. When you're on the court, apparently, the beat reporters and stuff, they don't do any press hits from the court because the way that they're set up, all the sound comes straight down onto the court, and it's all metal and loud. And they said even when the building is empty, it's a different vibe when you're on the center of that court because it's not like beats and you're not dancing to it. It's angry, loud rock music, and it's just a different vibe. And San Antonio has nothing. I mean, they have the Alamo and they have the Spurs. Everybody shows out. Everybody's there.
Riverwalk, come on.
I'm saying, there's no other. I mean, I love San Antonio when I went, but they're not there's no one's competing for attention in San Antonio. It is the Spurs.
There's one person competing for attention in San Antonio, and it's the smoke show that bought season tickets behind the coach. I called it out live during the game. I was like,
not just once, by the way. You called it out several times.
I was like, this chick is insanely hot. It got to the point, her standing up and applauding during the game got coverage She has an Instagram account. She probably has a sneaky link, knowing the world that we live in today. But she went from like 20,000 followers just from being like a local hot chick. She has 1.9 million followers now because she decided to do the financial risk of paying for whatever these tickets are behind the coach just to get coverage on TV.
Hot girl privilege is such a real, like, is there a single male on the planet that could, what is the male equivalent of that?
I don't know. There no male equivalent where you could just pay for season tickets or amazing playoff seats, and it results in generational wealth because you're all of a sudden an influencer with 3 million followers. It makes no sense, but it got picked up. Honestly,
I'd like to think DTC is going to be that platform, boys.
One of the reasons I'm happy the Spurs made it to the finals is you get at least 3 more games.
I mean, FP's kind of no selling here. We were in the chat. That was the only thing he wanted to talk about for days. It was, did you see the yellow shirt? Did you see the white shirt? It was constant.
She knew exactly what she was doing, and it played out perfectly.
FP, who do you have in the series, FP?
I'm going.
What's your heart tell you?
Series. I'm going 7 games, but Spurs.
Oh man,
I think it's going to be very similar to the energy we saw with Spurs OKC, and I think the Knicks will have the firepower and they'll have the crowd behind them, and it's going to be one of those ones where they're like, I think the Knicks are going to steal maybe game 1 or 2. And then the Spurs are going to do the same thing. They're going to steal maybe game 3, and it's just going to be blow for blow.
So
and you're going to get to game 7.
I'll tell you, I'm. This pains me because I can't believe I'm going to say it, but I think I got the Knicks, and I think I got them in 5. I think the stage is too big for the Spurs. It just feels like they're happy to be there, and there's no rational thought.
When you take down the reigning champs, it gives you something as a team.
I know, but I think there's a little bit of underestimating of how good this New York team is. New York can get scoring out of 8 players on any given night. The Spurs are still going to be relying on 3. I mean, it's just the way that they're set up. The Knicks are deeper. The Spurs have the best player. I think the Knicks are the better team. In a series like this, it's about constant adjustments. And I think, I don't remember who said it, but what works in game 1 likely won't work again in game 2, and it may not work in game 4. Maybe it comes back in game 5. I mean, we saw that with OKC. OKC, for whatever reason, I just felt like they took their foot off the accelerator. It just felt like they didn't have a counterpunch.
They put up a lot of duds for what they should have been.
And Chet, the guy that they were, the guy that had to show up, didn't. And I just think Cat is a different caliber player than Chet. That for me is
you can't have your second All-Star disappear. I mean, that's the stuff of the Wizards.
Yeah, which team has the better number 2? That's really what this conversation. Who has the better number 2? Right, and even if it's a group of people,
you probably have to go Knicks.
I think it's the Knicks, and they also have more people that have been there more recently, right? I mean, has anyone on the Spurs made it to the? I think Harrison Barnes. I think,
but from a coaching standpoint, I kind of want to give the edge to the Spurs.
No, I don't.
I mean, Mike Brown's been on championship teams as an assistant. He's brought teams to the finals.
But I also feel like Mike Brown can oversimplify and coach his team down by accident.
It's possible. I mean, it's possible. But I mean, I mean, aside from Andy, who's got him in a sweep, I still don't know what to make of that. But do you have an MVP pick? I mean, if you got him sweeping, it's got to be Spurs and Wemby, right? It's
definitely going to be Wemby. But you know who my X factor is? Actually, it's a bench player. The kid is insanely fast. Yes, insanely fast. He's a matchup.
He's going to be a star.
Yeah, he is.
That dude can.
Ron Harper, baby.
Rookie.
Bulls,
no?
96.
I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah, he's a rookie.
Can you imagine?
Dude.
I mean, Julian Champagny, any relation to our Champagny?
They're twins, yes.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were cousins. I thought it was a Tracy and Vince Carter situation.
No, they're twins.
Oh, twins. Oh, well, they got the better Champagny.
It's not.
I like ours. Don't get me wrong.
Yet.
I mean, I actually don't want them to trade hours. I want them to trade back, but I don't want them to give up any pieces. But that's a whole other conversation. Matt, if the Knicks pull this out, is it Jalen? He's is he the MVP?
Yeah, I think he gets the MVP, but I just think he'll have the most stats, right? Like he'll have points and assists, but I don't think he'll be the reason they win it. I just think he'll get it based off like his accumulation.
His plus or minus over the last 11 games. Do you want to just guess when he's on the court?
Plus 23.
Not even close. Cat, look
over the last 11?
For the last 11. Cat, just for reference, Cat is a plus 25. Josh Hart is a plus 20. Just some context. And Shamet is a plus 28. Plus 28, Landry. What do you think?
Landry.
Yeah, what do you Landry.
I'd put up like 40, 45, 46 now based on that. Like what you're just
63.
What?
He's untouched. He's so good. He's so good.
Yeah.
The Spurs
also, shout out to ex-Wizard Shamet.
Dude, ex everyone Shamet, man. Ex everyone. Shamet's
19 seasons in a row. 19 seasons in a row that an ex-Wizard is in the NBA Finals.
The craziest stuff.
There's nothing like that. There's nothing like it.
Actually, I think every sport has a similar DC stat line where every championship game has had some former DC player on it.
But this goes back to like Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace. This is insane. It's 2 decades of Wizards in the finals. JaVale McGee has 15 rings. And JaVale McGee averages 38 points in the Philippines. Like right now, this season.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, one last thing. Did anybody watch the EPL final on the UEFA Champions final? The final on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Champions League final. Arsenal, PSG, Budapest. Tony Parker in the building. Tony Parker also in the building somehow for Game 7. Very fascinating twist.
Yes, those private jets fly, man.
They haul, especially when you're 30 minutes late leaving because the game goes to pens. But look, I'm an Arsenal guy. I was very excited that they won the league. That was the more important of the 2 trophies. Like if I had to pick one, I wanted the EPL. I know everybody disagrees with me, but I'm telling you, it's the more important one. It's the domestic It's the domestic title that they haven't been able to touch. UEFA, the Euro, it tends to be a little bit more fluky. You get random teams in there. It's luck of the draw, but like the Prem is the Prem, and these are the top. 8 of the top teams in all of Europe that you're competing against, season in, season out. It was the bigger deal. They got it done. It wasn't dramatic, obviously, because they had it locked up on the Tuesday before the game, but over the moon that happened. And they were playing with house money going in against PSG, and they frustrated the crap out of them. And in the end, obviously, it didn't go their way, but I thought it was a very enjoyable game. Start to finish.
Very good game.
I thought it was great.
I do want to say that the Arsenal goal was the luckiest goal I've ever seen scored in my life. It was the luckiest bounce I've ever seen in my life to go in. But I don't. I mean, it's your opinion, Joe, but I think that the bigger trophy is the Champions League trophy. That is, you got your Bayern Munich in there. You got your PSGs. Your big European leagues in there. That's heavyweight fight.
But every once in a while, a stinker from Italy. But every once in a while, a stinky team from Italy sneaks into it, right? Or you get some.
Yeah, that
towards the end.
This is where
top 8 teams in Europe. Period.
Fair.
No. This is actually where I think contextually for Arsenal, the EPL meant more this season. Contextually, 22 seasons. Same with Liverpool. If you remember, Liverpool won the Champions League recently.
Yes.
But they actually didn't feel like the monkey was off their back until they won the Premier League.
Absolutely.
Again, right. So I think when you're talking about
with Man City,
4,
especially because of Man City.
When you're talking about the top 6 in the EPL is always going to be king there. Now, I think the game played out the way that I thought. And I think actually a lot of people would have said if Arsenal holds PSG to 1 goal, they're going to win that game. I think most Arsenal fans would have signed up for that.
100%.
I think it played out a lot of the way we thought it was going to play. Like either PSG was going to blow them out 5-0 like they did last year and give us a terrible final, or Arsenal was actually going to. But the problem is Arsenal fell into what the unfortunate sort of idea that no offensive creativity. They didn't force anything on offense. They just kind of were sort of. It almost felt like towards the end of the second half they were just happy to be tied. And like by the time you got to the extra time, you're like, okay, let's just get to penalties. Nothing's going to happen here.
But to be fair, Matt, both teams were playing that way. Basically, from 105 on, both teams were like, we got nothing left. PSG looked like they had no creativity left deep into that second half and into extra. I think they were supremely frustrated by Arsenal.
They were frustrated, but I also think they actually like, again, this is stupid to say when you're watching TV. It felt like they expended more energy than Arsenal did in that game to try to at least get time, right? It felt like PSG was trying. Arsenal was not. Again, they kind of fell back. Like Arsenal was waiting for that, for the corner kick to come, and it never came. It kind of was the thing, right? It just never came, and I think that was what was frustrating about it. Is I was actually rooting for Arsenal. I wanted Arsenal to win that game. I was kind of tired of PSG. I love Luis Enrique. I love Luis Enrique as a coach. I think as a person, his storyline is fantastic. I'm over PSG. Like, let's move on. It would have been nice.
To be fair, they play against nobody for the entire season.
Yes, I agree.
Every team dreads midweek soccer because it tires you. Like, the domestic titles matter, but you have to accommodate the UEFA or Europa games in the middle of the week. PSG's putting out B teams on the weekend and rolling out their mega all-stars midweek. Like, the whole thing is I'm always arguing with our boy John about this, right? He's like, Barca. Who is Barca playing against in Spain? Who, like, Athletic and
that's
Real?
A bit unfair because Spain puts in the same amount of teams into Europe that
I understand.
EPL does.
Okay, well, so does Italy,
and they win the championships. But the Spanish teams, if you look back at the last 5 to 10 years, are constantly in the finals. Constantly, whether it be Europa.
My point is the domestic competition is tighter and expends more energy in England. 100%. It just does.
That's fair. I agree. I think everybody would agree with that. But what I'm saying is the top of the top in La Liga is top 1% across the world.
So I think this matters more obviously for Arsenal because it's their first in a really long time. But if flip the script, if this was Man City who won the Premier League, they won it like 5 out of the last 8 years. Then the Champions League means probably a little bit.
100%. But for Arteta 100%. to get it, like if Pep isn't at Manchester City, if this happens next year, it doesn't mean as much. Like it meant more to Arteta to beat Pep for this Arsenal team to beat this Manchester City team because everything's being disbanded. Like Manchester City is not that they're going to be bad, but they're not going to be the dominant force that they've been. Things are changing here. I feel like it would have gotten an asterisk if they had done this next season. Like, oh, well, he couldn't get past Pep, right? It's like you see this in the NFL all the time. Like he couldn't. Josh Allen can't get past insert name. Like you have to get over on the guy that's got your number. And Pep has had his number from the beginning. Like literally from the beginning. He's like, I taught you everything. I'm going to unteach you everything now too. Like this, and even down the stretch, Arsenal basically led tape to tape the entire season. There was a couple blips in there, but the last month of the season, no one was expecting Arsenal to hold on. The expectation was not only would Man City catch them, they would somehow surpass them. But there was it must be a very strange place to be mentally when you are the top team, but you feel like you're the one chasing because of the way the schedule is set up, or because you've played one less game and you're nursing a 2-point, a 2-point table lead. So like, it's incredible. I'm actually surprised that they were able to focus and get up for the final on Saturday, but they played very well. And to get a goal in the first 10 minutes that's the stuff of dreams.
I almost think that's what hurt them. I almost think
complacency,
getting the goal. Yeah, I think getting the goal at the beginning just made them be defensive the rest of the game. I honestly think if they're fighting for a goal towards the second half and where it's still 0-0, I think you see a different. I think Arsenal pulls it out.
It'll be interesting to see what they do this offseason. I mean, they need a striker. They need somebody up front who's going to just with his eyes closed get goals. It'll be interesting to see because the rest of the team is pretty good. I mean, and Arteta is flying high
and
right
still young,
still
and
very
still young, man. Arsenal's.
Yep.
Look, I just think they need somebody who can, bring a little spice to what
I'm
they're
with you.
doing, man.
I'm with you. And what do we expect now from, there was some big departures all over Europe. I mean, is Louis headed to the MLS? I mean, where are some of these big names going to land? Obviously, Mo Salah said goodbye to Liverpool after 9 years. It was actually very nice to see him on the pitch, with the leadership that's basically ousting him, glad handing and high fiving. But I think we're going to see Salah move to somewhere in the Middle East, right? Somewhere in the Gulf states. Is he Saudi bound?
He's Saudi bound. He's going to become a billionaire for it. Too.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, but where do you see some of the other notables, Matt, or too soon to tell?
It is still early. I think let's see where Pep lands. Because
I think the rumor is. Do you know what are you reading about Pep? There's one rumor ahead of all the others that I'm seeing. I
actually haven't read anything.
England national team. England national team seems to be where he's going to land. Yeah. I mean, there's a big changing of the guards with the World Cup squad. I mean, there's a lot of legacy players that are not on that squad. So
if he were to bring it home, first of all, I think he's the greatest ever already.
He'd be knighted. He would be knighted. He would literally be knighted. He would be coronated. We would attend his coronation.
He'd be the king.
Yeah.
He would be the king.
And he'd marry Kate.
Will, I'm talking about Will. He's gonna dude, they will no, there's no, I mean, he's so great. I think Barca's doing some interesting things. I think even John and I don't see eye to eye on the moves, but Barca's out there spending. I think Real Madrid, you have Jose Mourinho coming back, so that's an interesting he's saying he's not. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of storylines. Just they're to your point, not just players, but coaches too at some of the biggest clubs. Things are they just got rid of Liverpool, just got rid of their guy. What's his name?
Which is kind of shocking. 2 years on the job and you boot him. I mean, nobody lasts.
Words going out. I think Salah's words going out. So basically doomed him.
This guy's dying in the. I know.
Come on.
Look. Okay. We're gonna put
Miles Garrett went to the Rams.
Oh yes, that did happen.
Yeah.
That did happen.
Come on, people.
And I believe AJ Brown has found his new home as well.
Yeah, he went to the Patriots. Everyone expected.
I thought that was a done deal a month ago.
I mean, it's been done forever. Did they have a coach in New England?
Yes.
Has
Diana Rossini
has Aaron Donald unretired yet?
I'm sure it's coming around.
How do you not unretire? How long do you think it takes him to get back into game shape?
I mean, that guy curls 150 dumbbells like they're dum-dums, like lollipops. It makes no sense.
Also, what are the Browns doing?
Poverty franchise.
This is the definition of poverty mindset. What are you doing? What are you doing? And
how do you not get a better return? Jared Verse in a nothing pick.
What is Daron Payne worth? Someone tell me what Daron Payne is worth.
2 2s.
I would take it. I mean, that's just me, but I would take it.
There's so much that we still have to talk about. This is a beefy show, so we're gonna have to save it for next week.
Yeah, we have to get into the schedule. We still haven't done that. Also, we got to get our winners and losers in. Yeah, Matt's pointing at
10-7. 10-7.
You got the Skins going 10-7 or the Giants?
The Skins going 10-7.
What do you got? I want to hear your thoughts on the Giants bringing back no knees.
Dude, first of all, they had a wide receiver tear. No, hang on. No, I'm just saying they had a wide receiver tear his ACL in OTAs. No, they need anything. They just need bodies. If he catches 10 passes, also you'll thank me. Jackson Dart's going to be your new favorite quarterback. Just go check out Miami Swim Week.
Depends if you ask Abdul Carter.
I mean, Abdul. Listen, I'm not in charge of the Giants. I would cut Abdul Carter.
Yeah,
I'm not even joking about it. I'm if you
for what being
you can do whatever you want for conduct detrimental to the team. You have a problem with your quarterback being of one religious or political mindset. I think you're too small-minded to play in New York City for this team. This nonsense may work somewhere else, but like if Jackson Dart, I'm not going to pick on him. Somebody said it perfectly. If an NFL player goes and beats the crap out of his wife, which just happened, by the way, nobody says anything.
Less coverage than the Dart thing.
Like, it's buried and it's just almost expected, FP. Jackson Dart goes on stage to introduce the President of the United States, and his teammate is, we got to talk about this. No, we don't.
No, you don't. You don't have to talk about it. And I think I just think that's a lot of what's wrong with the NFL. If you ask me, like, just
have we learned
why
nothing?
Is everything in the NFL so political? Just shut up.
I think Harbaugh is gonna be in for a rude awakening about how big the New York media market is.
It's not Baltimore
compared to Baltimore, because nothing gets.
But what a message it would send to the locker room to fine Abdul Carter for going outside the locker room, for not. First of all, there's no issue to begin with. He's creating an issue. He's creating a distraction.
Just created an issue. Yes, I agree.
He created an issue.
I hate that personally. It's stupid, and I think, dude, support whatever candidate you want to support. Like, get out. Like, this is not candidate, whatever you. And honestly, like,
it's
to be
the
honest
president.
With you,
If
it's the president, it's the president.
If Joe Biden, a person that or Obama, somebody that I don't care for necessarily as in their political role, if the president invites you to the White House, this is the old Clay Travis take, you go because it's the president. Yes. It's the office. It is the bigness of the situation. This is complete nonsense, and to air it out publicly, like you're like, I mean, all you need to know is that Jackson Dart's jersey is the #1 selling jersey in the NFL in going into week 3 now.
I think my only issue with the Jackson Dart thing is he did a terrible job introducing the president. Like, just from from a speaking standpoint, he was terrible. It was he phoned it in. He did not do a good job introducing the president. That should be more of the talking point than who he introduced.
Of course. But I
was terrible at it.
I was a Dart guy last year. I will continue to be a Dart guy this year. It's crazy. I'm cheering for New York teams, apparently. Go Knicks. We'll see what happens.
Hey, let's go, baby. Let's go.
We'll see what happens. Andy,
conversion derby.
Andy's about to hit the sack over here. Andy, anything to plug? Any F1 racing? Any movies you're watching? I'm excited to get you back on OMC, by the way. Anything you want to plug?
Oh, no OMC, nothing OMC. This is the last month to get your assault rifles in before Spankburger or whatever law goes into effect. Get your magazines, do what you have to do to stock up. But it'll probably get reversed in like 4 years anyway, so it doesn't matter. But get your guns.
Thank you so much, Andy. Matt the Met, what are you plugging?
Dude, F1 Monaco, the most boring and yet most,
this is going to be a great race.
Yeah. Like, I think it'll be cool to see the new cars in Monaco. I think that'll be fun. Obviously, World Cup fever like crazy.
2 weeks.
We didn't talk about what US did against Senegal. I thought that was a really, really great showing. There's a push to go to Cleveland to watch Brazil and Egypt play.
I want you to take your finger and I want you to push it right back in.
No, I'm not going, but I'm just saying next Sunday, I think. But I'm just like, dude, it's exciting. It's exciting to see soccer. Yes, football, the real football, kind of at its highest level. I still don't think it's going to be a great World Cup, to be honest with you. I think
because there's no fans.
Too many bad teams. Too many bad teams playing. 48 is too many.
Yeah, it's okay though. The answer to everything is expanding.
That's right.
That's
right. Let's make it 64.
That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
Summer of soccer, baby. Let's do it.
Absolutely. FP, what are you plugging?
Oh man, so much left to plug. I'm going to leave you with 3 things. 3 things. The Monaco Grand Prix is going to be great because you're going from straight speed power units, which was Mercedes' strength, to this track. You need more of your chassis, right? Better, sharper turns, right? And that's going to be more of a McLaren Ferrari fight. So if you've been watching F1 up to this point, this weekend is the start of like the uninterrupted European stretch. And you're going to see a lot of road courses and you're going to see a lot of McLaren and Ferrari being a little bit more competitive and Mercedes falling back to the pack. Andy doesn't agree with me. What's going to happen? The second point, World Cup related. What's really cool is with the Knicks being in the finals, you can technically go to a World Cup game,
Mm-hmm.
fight traffic, and then go to MSG and watch a finals game in the same day. New York's not going to be able to handle that, but it's going to be insane to see if somebody was able to do both of those in one. And the final
Tony Parker will do
it, yeah.
Probably
and
with
the
a
final
private jet.
thing, my final hot take is I don't think the Commanders are done. Hot take here. I think we go out and we take BTJ from the Jags, and he will be our receiver.
Oh, where'd you hear this one? That is
note it.
So no Debo, no Debo for you, no Ayuk
Debo,
for you,
no Diggs, no Ayuk. We're gonna go get BTJ.
I wouldn't mind Diggs. Bring him home. He's a local kid, but he's not a kid anymore. He's got 15 kids. But anyway,
BTJ.
Okay, I'm plugging is the show. DTC on Patreon, DTC wherever you get your podcasts. Hang out with us for the rest of the week. The Patreon has been lively. OMC 25 has been posted. OMC 26, I think, is 2 weeks out. I think we already obviously have it recorded, but looking at vacation schedules, I think 26 will post in 2 weeks, and then we'll be recording 27 pretty soon. Obviously, we have a World Cup preview show coming up. That one's going to be a lot of fun. We'll do our best to get back in here. Not going to promise 2 shows a week, but I would love to talk, NBA recap, maybe keep them to 20 minutes after each of these finals games, especially if they're competitive. I would love to get back on here, fire up the mics, and do it. So we will see how that goes. And that's it. Thank you for hanging out with us. Episode 384 is done. We will catch you all next week.